You wake up, check your phone, see how many steps you took yesterday, check your heart rate, open the meditation app because you need to take care of your mental health, take your morning supplement, eat something healthy, and you think all these choices are yours. But what if I told you that you're not taking care of yourself? What if I told you that you're being managed? That each of these micro decisions was planted in you by a system that needs you to live, but to live in a specific, productive, controlled way. You're not free. You're an administered body. And the most disturbing part isn't that someone controls you with weapons or prisons. It's that the control is inside you, in your self-care routines, in your healthy habits, in your obsession with productivity. You become your own jailer, and on top of that, you're grateful for it. You post gym photos, share your morning routine, celebrate your medical checkups. You display yourself being controlled and call it freedom. Michel Foucault saw this before any of us. Before smartwatches, before health apps, before this collective obsession with wellness. He understood that the most efficient power isn't the one that kills, it's the one that makes live, that manages life, that transforms each body into a small enterprise that needs to be optimized, improved, productive. He called this biopolitics. And once you understand what biopolitics is, the veil falls. You see the strings, you perceive the theater, and nothing is ever the same again, because biopolitics isn't about politics in the sense you know. It's not about parties, elections, or ideologies. It's about something much more intimate and invasive. It's about how modern power has infiltrated the very definition of what it means to be alive. How it transformed your health into duty, your body into resource, your life into something that needs to be constantly measured, evaluated, optimized. You know that guilt when you don't go to the gym, that anxiety when you eat something unhealthy, that constant fear of not being productive enough. That's not consciousness. It's programming. It's the result of decades of a specific type of power that Foucault identified, a power that doesn't say obey or die, but rather take care of yourself or you're not living right. And if this bothers you, if something inside you recognizes this invisible prison, then stay. Because in the next few minutes, we're going to dismantle this machine piece by piece. We're going to understand how you were transformed from person to population, from individual to statistic, from human being to biological resource. And more importantly, we're going to understand why you defend the system that imprisons you. If you're ready for this uncomfortable journey, subscribe to the channel and follow through to the end. Because after this, you'll never look at your smartwatch the same way again. They told you health is wealth. They told you your body is a temple. They told you that taking care of yourself is the ultimate form of self-love. And you believed it. Why wouldn't you? It sounds so reasonable, so empowering. You're not a victim anymore. You're the CEO of your own body, the entrepreneur of your own wellness, the architect of your own optimization. This is the myth, the beautiful lie wrapped in Instagram quotes and TED Talks. Think about it. When did health stop being simply the absence of disease and become this endless project? When did your body stop being something you live in and become something you manage? When did breathing become breath work? When did eating become nutrition optimization? When did sleeping become sleep hygiene? When did living become a full-time job? You think you're free because you can choose between CrossFit or yoga, between keto or vegan, between Apple Watch or Fitbit. But these aren't choices, they're options within the same cage. You're like a rat in a maze who thinks he's free, because he can choose which corridor to run down. But you're still in the maze, still running, still being watched. The myth says you're in control, that your health is in your hands, that if you're sick, it's because you didn't try hard enough, didn't eat clean enough, didn't exercise enough, didn't meditate enough, didn't sleep enough. The myth turns your body into your responsibility and your failure. If you get cancer, they ask about your lifestyle. If you're depressed, they ask about your exercise routine. If you're exhausted, they ask about your time management. Do you see what happened? The system no longer needs to oppress you. You oppress yourself. Every time you feel guilty for skipping a workout, every time you punish yourself for eating a donut, every time you wake up at 5 a.m., not because you want to, but because successful people wake up at 5 a.m., you've internalized the God. You've become the surveillance camera pointed at yourself. And the genius of this myth is that it feels good. It feels like empowerment, like you're taking charge, like you're becoming your best self. But whose definition of best are you using? Who decided that your natural body needs constant improvement? Who profits from your eternal dissatisfaction with yourself? The wellness industry is worth trillions. The fitness industry, the supplement industry, the meditation app industry, the health tracking industry. They don't make money from healthy people. They make money from people who are constantly trying to become healthy, from people who believe the myth that they're always one purchase, one program, one optimization away from finally being enough. But here's the thing about myths: they only have power when you believe them. And once you see the strings, once you recognize the puppet show, you can't unsee it. The question is, are you ready to see who's really pulling those strings? You live in a panopticon, but the walls are made of data points and the guards are algorithms. Foucault described the panopticon as the perfect prison, a circular building where prisoners never know if they're being watched, so they behave as if they're always being watched. They become their own guards. Sound familiar? Check your screen. Time. Check your step count. Check your heart rate variability. You're always checking because you're always being checked. But this new panopticon is far more sophisticated than anything Foucault imagined. It doesn't just watch you. It gets inside you. Your smartwatch knows when you're stressed before you do. Your phone knows your sleep patterns better than you do. Your health app knows your menstrual cycle, your mood swings, your exercise habits, your eating patterns. And it's not just collecting this data, it's shaping it, nudging you, reminding you, optimizing you. You're not a prisoner in the traditional sense. You're something much more useful. You're a data point in a massive experiment in human optimization. Every time you log your calories, you're contributing to the system. Every time you track your workout, you're feeding the machine. Every time you monitor your sleep, you're tightening your own chains. The invisible prison doesn't need bars because it has something much more effective. Your own desire to be better, to be healthier, to be more productive, to live longer. These desires feel natural, personal, authentic. But are they? Or were they carefully cultivated by a system that needs you to want what it wants you to want? Think about how you feel when your fitness tracker buzzes, telling you to move. That little jolt of guilt, that immediate response to stand up, walk around, close your rings. You're not responding to your body's needs, you're responding to a notification. You've outsourced your bodily awareness to a device. You've given up the most intimate knowledge of your own body, to an external authority, and it goes deeper. The pandemic showed us how quickly health became surveillance, contact tracing, vaccine passports, temperature checks, health QR codes. Your biological data became your passport to participate in society. Your body became a site of constant verification. Are you safe? Are you clean? Are you optimized enough to be allowed in public spaces? This is the invisible prison, a cage made of your own biological data, monitored by your own devices, enforced by your own anxiety about being healthy enough, productive enough, optimized enough. You police yourself more efficiently than any external authority ever could. You've internalized not just the rules, but the entire surveillance apparatus, the most insidious part. You paid for your own tracking devices. You subscribed to your own monitoring services. You literally bought your way into this prison, and you renew your subscription every month. You're not just the prisoner. You're the architect, the guard, and the warden of your own biological incarceration. Michel Foucault saw what others missed. In The History of Sexuality and the Birth of Biopolitics, he revealed how power evolved from the sovereign's right to kill to something far more insidious, the administration of life itself. The old power said, "Let die or make live." The new power says, "Make live and let die." It doesn't threaten death, it manages life. It doesn't execute, it regulates. It doesn't punish the body, it optimizes it. Foucault understood that modern power operates through what he called technologies of the self, techniques that make us work on ourselves, shape ourselves, monitor ourselves. The confession booth became the therapist's office. The priest became the personal trainer. The sermon became the self-help book, but the mechanism remains the same. You must constantly examine yourself, reveal yourself, improve yourself. This is biopolitics, the politics of life itself. It's not about controlling what you do, it's about controlling what you are. It operates at the level of the population, turning individual bodies into statistical categories: birth rates, death rates, disease rates, productivity rates. You're no longer John or Jane. You're a risk factor, a demographic, a data cluster. Your individual story dissolves into population management. Foucault showed how this started with public health in the 1800s. Suddenly, governments cared about hygiene, about disease, about the health of workers, not because they loved humanity, but because they needed healthy bodies for factories, for armies, for economies. The body became a resource to be managed, optimized, made productive. And we celebrated this as progress. But here's Foucault's crucial insight. This power doesn't operate through repression, but through production. It doesn't silence, it makes you speak. It doesn't hide, it makes you reveal. It doesn't forbid, it incites. Think about how much you share about your body, your health, your habits, your fitness goals, your mental health journey, your wellness routine. You're constantly confessing, constantly producing truth about yourself, constantly making yourself visible to power. In Discipline and Punish, Foucault traced how punishment moved from the spectacular torture of bodies to the quiet reformation of souls. But with biopolitics, we've moved even further, from reforming souls to optimizing biological processes. The target is no longer your behavior or your thoughts, but your very life forces, your metabolism, your hormones, your neurons, your genes. This is why Foucault called it biopower, power over life itself. It doesn't need to threaten you with death because it has something much more powerful, the promise of life. More life, better life, optimized life, extended life, enhanced life. And who could be against life? Who could resist the offer of health, vitality, longevity? This is the genius of biopower. It makes you want what it wants. It makes you desire your own optimization. It makes you complicit in your own control. The question Foucault leaves us with is haunting. How do you resist a power that operates by making you live? This is the moment everything breaks. You realize you're not who you thought you were. You're not an individual making free choices about your health and body. You're a node in a network, a unit in a population, a biological process being optimized. For maximum productivity and minimum risk, look at yourself, really look. That morning routine you're so proud of. That's not self-care, that's self-regulation. That fitness journey you document, that's not empowerment, that's compliance. That health anxiety that keeps you tracking, measuring, optimizing, that's not wisdom, that's programming. You haven't been taking care of yourself. You've been maintaining yourself like a machine maintains its parts. You thought you were the author of your own story, but you're just reciting a script. Every health influencer you follow, every wellness guru you trust, every optimization technique you adopt, they're all singing the same song, and you've been dancing to it your whole life. Wake up earlier, work out harder, eat cleaner, sleep, Better, meditate longer, optimize everything. But optimize for what? For whom? The real horror isn't that you're controlled, it's that you love your controller. You defend it, you evangelize for it, you shame others who don't submit to it. You've become an unpaid agent of the very system that reduces you to a biological resource. Every time you judge someone for their lifestyle choices, every time you share your fitness transformation, every time you preach about wellness, you're not spreading health, you're spreading control. And here's what really breaks you. You can't just opt out. Try to stop caring about your health in this society. Try to ignore your body's optimization. Try to resist the constant pressure to be better, healthier, more productive. You'll be labeled irresponsible, self-destructive, a burden on the healthcare system, a bad citizen, because in the age of biopolitics, health isn't a personal choice. It's a social obligation, a moral duty, a political requirement. You're trapped between two impossibilities. You can't fully submit without losing yourself to the machine, but you can't fully resist without being cast out as defective, dangerous, or diseased. You're caught in what Foucault would call a double bind. Damned if you optimize, damned if you don't. This is your crisis. Realizing that your most intimate relationship, the relationship with your own body, has been colonized. Your health isn't yours, your wellness isn't yours, your body isn't yours. They belong to a system that needs you functional, productive, and constantly striving for an impossible standard of biological perfection. You feel it now, don't you? That vertigo of recognition, that nausea of understanding. You're not a person. You're a biological project. You're not living, you're being lived. You're not free. You're freely choosing exactly what the system needs you to choose. And the worst part, even knowing this, you'll probably check your step count before bed tonight. Because the prison isn't around you, it is you.